Hey everyone, Andrew here. I was thinking, and this dangerous thing when I think. I know it can be scary sometimes. With Nintendo Switch 2 getting a more, I guess, advanced NSO tier with the GameCube app, I kind of thought about it. This kind of going back to something I've mentioned before a couple times. The Joy-Con 2, fantastic for emulating Wii motion controls. It does perfect pointer controls. It resets itself, so when you point the center of screen, you don't have to recalibrate. It's such a smooth, clean, beautiful thing that I think it would be really neat if Nintendo decided to, I don't know, do Wii NSO, you know? I would not complain if they decide to do this. In fact, I've got some games that I think would be really cool to see on a NSO application for Wii gaming. Hi, baby. The cat has decided to grace us with his presence, but you're not supposed to be, let go of me. You're not supposed to be in this video. Another time, okay? Alright, be a good boy. I'll see you. Anyways, so let's get into it. These games definitely not going to happen, right? Like, I firmly don't believe. Well, there are a couple that have some potential, but I highly doubt they would, happen. So I've already talked about these games. I'm just gonna kind of blast through them because I've already talked about Pandora's Tower. Sorry, I shook it a little because I was scared it sounded like a loose copy, but I think it's just the little booklet. So Pandora's Tower, great action RPG, uses pointer controls and motion controls. I think it would be excellent on Switch 2 with the new Joy-Cons. Same with the last story. I firmly believe that both of these games deserve to be on the same platform that Xenoblade Chronicles has, graced. Because then we would have basically the holy trinity of Wii games from the very end of its life cycle, or at least the true end of its life cycle. I'm not going to count all those Just Dance games. They don't exist. So it'd be really cool to have all of those games present on the Switch 2, bring that entire library forward. It just needs to happen. So moving on, this one actually has, there's a possibility for this one. It's a Sin and Punishment Star Successor. It's a sequel to, you guessed it, Sin and Punishment, which I have on Nintendo 64. Phenomenal game. I love it to bits. And the cool thing is, this one, there's potential here because, we have Sin and Punishment on the Nintendo 64 app for NSO. There's a little hope here. It's a really, really cool game that I think, it's first party. That's the crazy thing, is this is a first party Nintendo game right here. It blows me away when I think about it, and I really would love to see it make a comeback. Or, Nintendo, you could make Sin and Punishment 3. I'd buy that. It's another game I've been kind of pushing for. Maybe not as much as I should, and that's Muramasa the Demon Blade. This is a Vanillaware classic. It's an action hack and slash side-scrolling RPG. It's literally like you're running through Japanese paintings, and just so much fun. Great music, great characters, awesome action combat. This is, to me, basically like if Platinum made a 2D side-scrolling hack and slash RPG, this would be it, but this is Vanillaware, and they just happen to also be really awesome at making hack and slash action RPGs. So I would adore to see this game get, and I know it got a Vita port, and the Vita port got DLC with extra characters. Honestly, Ignition, I know you could do it if you tried. Just bring that Vita port to Switch. Like, seriously, just do it. Like, it would run flawlessly, it would look great. It would just be a matter of upscaling the assets, which I am sure is a lot harder than I'm making it sound. But I would love that. I would buy that in a heartbeat. All right, so now we're kind of in some oddball, definitely never happening games that I have very strange nostalgia for, despite them not being very good. So first off, we have Castlevania Judgment. It's a 1v1 fighting game in the Castlevania universe. The artwork for the characters was done by the same, the mangaka, if I'm saying that right, the artist behind Death Note. Gave these characters a real strange edginess to them. This is a game that it uses waggle controls, so yeah, you could have it working with motion controls with the Joy-Con too, but it also supported GameCube controllers and the Pro controller, so that would be a pretty flexible game. Plus, it's just a bizarre, awkward Castlevania game that I think would be fun to revisit. So this is a game that I was actually really excited for when it came out, and I think I beat it in like a day. I want to say a day or maybe even less. And that is for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles: The Crystal Bearers. So this game is such a strange one because it is just like a huge random variety of motion control gameplay mechanics, and it does not feel like a Final Fantasy game. It just happens to be in the Crystal Chronicles little side universe. I have a weird nostalgia for it. I think it's not a great game. It's definitely not a great Final Fantasy, but it's a fun enough motion control game that I think it could be cool to revisit. But this is definitely on my list of this is never going to happen, just simply because it is what it is. And that's... Holy crap, what just happened? Oh my god, dude, did you do that? Don't do that again. Let it be. Okay, continuing on. So you probably saw this in that little downward look at my cat. This is actually a really good game that I think a lot of people really liked at the time, but at the same time when I talk about it, no one seems to know what I'm talking about, and that's SSX Blur. So this is a motion controlled game that I think the the newfound technology that we have in the Joy-Con 2 would actually be really, it'd be a nice bump up in quality from the original Wii Remote's little tilt controls. It worked fine. It was really fun. It's actually one of the better motion control games, I think, when it came out. I remember having a lot of fun with it. At first I didn't like it, but then it kind of clicked. It's one of those games where once you get a feel for it, you're kind of like, man, this is actually kind of fun. So yeah, I would like to see that, but unfortunately there's a little problem here. It's a EA Sports title, and I don't know if EA is going to play nice with it. Kind of a shame. Anyways, moving on to a bona fide classic, and probably one of, bear with me, one of my favorites in the series. I'm going on record saying that I like this game more than probably 70% of the other entries. Not saying they're bad, but I love this one. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I gotta say, I have had heated discussions with a few friends of mine over this one. This game on the Wii, when the Wii came out, was probably the most excited I had been for a game in my younger years than like anything else. Like, this was literally the most exciting thing to come out, and I was thrilled to see it when my parents surprised me with it. It was a Christmas gift. This is my original copy. I adore this game. I played it way too much. I literally had a clear save file, and I would just run around the map, just exploring it and trying to find secrets that didn't even exist. It was just a really good time, and the fishing minigame was really fun. I know there's an HD remake on the Wii U, but I would love to have this game with motion controls using the Joy-Con 2 just to relive what this experience was like, using pointer control for like the bow and arrow and all that good stuff, because it was just such a good time. And I just love this game, and I would really like to see a, not necessarily like a more modern version, because the HD version does exist, but just this game again on the Switch too. Even like portably with, if they were able to get it to work with like Pro Controller support, that'd be pretty cool too. But it was a motion control game, so highly doubt they would implement that. But would love to see it. All right, now we're in my oddballs. This is the 100% never happening, but I really like these games, and I think they deserve a little bit more attention. So we're gonna start with a little game called Baroque. I have a sealed copy that I got pretty cheap. This is a remake done by Atlas of a Sega Saturn dungeon crawler that was originally in Japanese only. Until recently, within the last year or so, some fan project, they finally translated the Saturn version. And if I was to recommend a version of this game to play, I would say that this is not bad. This is pretty good, but if you can go and do a little magical thing on a computer and play the Saturn version with the English patch, that is definitely going to be a superior experience. However, I think this is a really cool game on the Wii, and I would really like more people to try it at least, because this added like a third-person camera to the game, which is pretty different because it is a first-person dungeon crawler originally, with really cool atmosphere. It's really grungy and weird and dark, but like also slightly charming. Hard to explain. It's just one of those games that, like at the time, it's something that only Atlas would publish, I guess is what I want to say, because it's just kind of their vibe from that era. Anyways, moving on to another cool one. Looks like I at some point inverted the case, so the art is the opposite art. I like it when games do this and actually have the name on the spine. It's a Exceed published game. It is Skycrawler's Innocent Aces. So this is by Project Aces. It's a airplane flight sim. I don't want to call it a sim. It's pretty arcadey, but it is a motion-controlled airplane game with a really cool aesthetic. It's the Skycrawlers, which is an animated film, very good animated film. It's just a cool game based off of that. Had a lot of fun with this when I got it. I would like to revisit it. You don't really get games like this anymore. Like, like anime adaptations, but trying to be like a semi, like grounded flight type game, with air combat. It's just so cool. I would love to see this game make a comeback, but it's up to Exceed, and I kind of highly doubt that this game will ever get any form of port. And if it does, you can bet I will stream it, because I just don't think it's happening. And that leads us to my final game. This one is exceptionally cool, and I'm really happy to have it in the collection. It's another Exceed published game that I think if there was a game by Exceed, like their publishing company, that has a chance at being on a Wii NSO application after a while, I think this might actually have a shot, simply because it's such a unique experience that you can only get on the Wii, and it's also just it's special. It's really special, and I really would like to see more people try it. And that is for Fragile Dreams, Farewell Ruins of the Moon. This is like a sort of lightweight horror action RPG, motion controlled, very, very. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna say it. It's pretty timeless, like for a Wii game. It still looks great to this day, I think personally. Yeah, you use the Wii remote as a flashlight, but also for your weapons. And the only thing that actually, I was about to say the only thing that I don't think you could do with a Joy-Con 2 is the game did this thing for like a proximity type thing, like it would play audio through the Wii remote to just kind of let you know if you're getting close to certain things. But the Joy-Con 2, the HD Rumble 2 might actually be capable of replicating the noise to an extent that it might actually work. Of course, they could always just do a cop-out and play the sound on the TV. But this would be a really special and cool game that I think a lot of people, if they were to give it a try, would, find themselves a new classic favorite. And I could have gone on with this list and just grabbed Xenoblade over there, but we have Xenoblade already on the Switch, so it's. I think this right here is up there with that on my list of Wii games that I think people should play. And I don't know, I'd really love to see it get another shot. That or just remake it. If they remade it, that'd be incredible. But I know they won't. That's the problem. So anyways, y'all, I just wanted to make that list because, I think Wii games on Switch 2 would be really cool. And I think that with the Joy-Con 2 motion controls and the way that it can replicate the pointer controls of the Wii so well, I think it would just be a really awesome platform for it. Even like light gun shooters, like the House of the Dead games or Dead Space Extraction, the Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles, stuff like that would be really cool, but I don't think they would be put on there because they're rated M. They'd have to make an adults only Wii application for your Nintendo Switch too. But anyways, I digress. Hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time.